Sundials' history and development. Curiosity. The sun and man. Today I would like to talk to you about two protagonists united by time. The sun rises, sets, warms, illuminates, approaches, moves away, and man observes and reasons. These are the moments of the sun that determine the life of nature, and in particular those of man, develop his desire to know, feed his curiosity. But let's take the first two movements. Sunrise and sunset. They determine day and night. Initially, the solar gnomon must have been man himself who saw his shadow move with the movement of the sun. Then you will have moved on to a stick placed vertically in the ground. Think of the tangle of questions that man must have asked himself. That man. This system will have developed and used by all ancient civilizations starting from the Chinese, then Sumerians, Egyptians. To measure fractions of the day, the water or sand hourglass system has been developed. The Egyptians were already using it around 1500 BC. Now let's move on to talk about sundials, which are nothing more than the development of the stick placed vertically in the ground. Sundials were born in China, then arrived in Europe through Babylon and its culture. Here are some types of vertical sundials the most used. The Babylonian meridian. The Babylonian hours in use by the ancient people of Babylon divide the day into 24 hours starting at dawn. They divide the day into 24 hours and mark the hours starting from the previous day. It was important for those outside the city walls to know how many hours were left until sunset, to return before the city gates closed. Canonical hour. It is a very ancient type of sundial that was introduced by St. Benedict of Norcia in his Regula Monachorum, to mark the times of work and prayer, and were graffiti on the walls. French time. Starting in 1800, with the arrival of French troops in Italy, this system was introduced. It had the advantage of having constant time all year round. The day is divided into two groups of 12 hours, the group of daytime hours, morning and afternoon, night hours. The new day begins at midnight. The mottos. Observing sundials, we often read mottos in their interiors in various languages and inspired by the time. Montiglio Monferrato, the town of sundials, has over 55 sundials, almost all the work of Mario Tabenghi, a well-known nominist. Let's now take a look at some of the truffles. It indicates the seasons and the type of truffle. Here is a sundial with a deliberate error. The number 7 is missing. The shadow of the roof was not taken into account.
This sundial is written in Japanese with a translation as history. Mario Tabenghi, a renowned gnomist, was building a sundial at the Bria restaurant in Montemagno, when he heard a little voice singing but he didn't understand the words. They were necessarily in Japanese. It was a Japanese girl singing. He was taking a cooking class. How they understood each other is not known, but they were talking about the sun and that was a no. In addition to vertical sundials, there are horizontal sundials. We usually find them in parks and sunny places. A curiosity, they also sold horizontal wrist sundials. The civic towers. In the 14th-17th century, civic towers were developed to house bells that marked the moments of civil life, unlike the bell tower linked to religious life. Later they were equipped with clocks, and then the sundial on the south side of the tower. Civic towers spread wherever they had a municipal government. For a long time, sundials marked the time of the place. But the slowness of communications did not affect life much at the time. The confusion arose when communication shortened travel times. Think of the first cars and trains. It was necessary to adapt as soon as the first clocks were defined at the local time and readjust it on the way back. In the Bering Strait, about 80 kilometers wide, there are the two Diomedes Islands, 3 kilometers apart, where the border between Russia and the United States pass. The great uninhabited Diomede belongs to Russia, the little Dionete belongs to the United States and is inhabited. In addition to being from two different states, the two islands are subject to two completely different time zones. The Great Russian Diomede is più 19 hours, the Small Diomede USA, 2 hours, so the Great Diomede is 21 hours ahead of the Small Diomede. The two islands are located on different days and are also called the island of yesterday and the island of tomorrow. With this video, I wish to welcome all the foreigners who have chosen this territory to live or spend their holidays. Francesco Ciravegna.